In this big blowout round, the second 1 point result over the weekend was the Penrith Panthers 13 defeating Parramatta 12. I'll give my thoughts after Barney does his stats.
2 tries apiece, 2 out of 2 conversions for Penrith, 1 out of 2 for Parramatta, 1 field goal out of 2 for Penrith, 0 out of 1 for Parramatta, 1 out of 2 penalty shots for Parramatta, 78% completion, played 80%, 35 out of 45 sets, played 33 out of 41 for Parramatta. Penrith with 150 post-contact metres. Again, in the middle there, 3 line breaks to 2, 30 tackle busts to 39, 10 offloads for Penrith, 19 for Parramatta. 2 forced dropouts to 1, 0 40-20s, 379 tackles played, 396, 4 ruck infringements to 7, 1 inside the 10 to Parramatta, 6 penalties conceded by Penrith and 2 by Parramatta. 15 errors to 11. Appy made 62 tackles. Lussick with 50, Brian To'o with 281 metres, and Papali'i with 165. Luai missed 6 tackles, so did Tyrone May. Moses missed 3 and made 15. Papali'i scored 122 Supercoach points. Appy with 97, and I'm not sure which Brown. I've just written Brown here, but he got 77. I'm assuming it was Nathan, but it could have been Dylan.
Now, was it just me, or did Parramatta just stop? Like an hour.
Parramatta lost this game.
Parramatta lost this game. They were all over this game, and about an hour into it, they just stopped. They should have won this game by 12. They had all the momentum, had everything going for them, and I don't know if they hit the wall. I don't know if it was what it was, but they lost this game.
To be honest, mate, it was their defense.
Yeah.
Because, obviously, Penrith's defense was really good. They only conceded 2 tries, and both of them were from bombs. But that Tyrone May try, that should have been a first grader should have made that tackle every day of the week. He just strolled past. I'm not sure who it was. I'm not sure if it was a half or it was the center, but he just walked straight through that hole and scored that try. And the Appy one probably should have been stopped as well, but that was a nice bit of play in the middle of the field. But, yeah, they let themselves down.
Yep, I agree. Like I said, I thought the better team. I think losing Luai especially brings Penrith back to Parramatta's level for the next 4 weeks. So I think they're now pretty much on par. They're going to be relying, I suppose, on May and Burton for the next few weeks, which is a concern.
They need to give the kid a bloke. They need to give the kid a go. Fuck off, May.
Oh, Salmon.
No, but what's the other
Falls? Falls. Okay.
Play him at 7, put Burton at 6.
Yeah, like 10 minutes in, I thought, wow, how clever to be playing keep Burton out in the centres. But then he did nothing for the rest of the game. He had a couple of okay touches and runs, but they had May almost controlling things. They did not, by any means, they look like a good team, not by any means the world beaters. I thought Charlie Staines was okay at fullback. He's not Dylan Edwards, but he was much better there than he had been. They won't miss Nathan next year. Who else do I need to even talk about? It was Appy's best game all year. He got them back into this game. He straightened them up as he does when he's at his best. He looked really good. And beyond that, him and the forwards dragged them back into it. And Parramatta, you got to say it, Parramatta choked. They had the foot in the throat and couldn't do it. And that's a reflection of clutch Parramatta. And if there's any play to sum up clutch Parramatta any better than Mitch Moses' last kick at goal in the game, well, there it is. Because if it's 32-12, he kicks that goal every day of the week, blindfolded while doing a cartwheel. So there it was. Do I need to talk about Puppy? He was just quickly on Para. Puppy was tremendous. For a lot of the game when they were on top, Moses was good. Madison was good. Brown was good. And the rest were all Para. That's about it. Barney, your takeaways?
As I said, Parramatta's points all came from bombs. The execution was poor. So was Penrith's, to be honest. It was a pretty scrappy game. I was actually pretty disappointed, actually. I thought this was going to be an absolute blockbuster game, and it never reached the heights that I expected it to. Definitely not. The attack just seemed to break down pretty much every time there was a move on. Someone dropped it, or there was a shit pass that rolled along the ground. And yeah, I thought the attacking play could have been a lot better. Obviously the weather didn't help, but Yeah, Parramatta, I thought, won the middle, and I thought they won it quite convincingly, to be honest, apart from Fisher Harris and Yo coming back through the middle. Yo and Appy were the difference in this game. As soon as the halves weren't doing their job, which they didn't do for Penrith, Appy and Yo just took over. Appy started controlling where the ball was going to go, and Yo started jumping in at 7 or running hard lines back through the middle. And those two dominated the middle in that last 20 minutes, as you said, when Parramatta fell away. Appy and Yo came to the fore, and they just took over, and they got them out of a game that they probably should have lost. I thought Parramatta should have won this probably by 2 tries, to be honest, but they just could not execute.
Yeah, Ollie.
I have to agree. Parramatta were the better side for the duration, and we talk about how good Para sort of were for those 60 minutes, but I also thought Penrith overall were not quite up to par. And to be honest, although they're missing their best player, Nathan Cleary, I still think we should be expecting a bit of a better performance than what we got overall. It will be interesting to see how they react over the next few weeks. They're lucky this week they've got the bye. Then next week they've got the Warriors, which is, I think, a quite winnable game, but who knows?
But if that's another average game where it's 16-10 beating the Warriors, then I think that's concerning as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think at this stage, though, Penrith would be under the mentality of just get the 2 points.
Until they get the cavalry back.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be too concerned with putting a big scoreline on like they were against South Sydney or Manly earlier in the year. We're going to see a Penrith side more akin to 2020, funnily enough. I'd say probably the earlier stages of 2020 when they were just looking for the 2 points and they'd be in second gear. They have been at times this year as well, although it's easier to play in second gear when you've got Nathan Cleary controlling things, but I think that'll be their focus for the next few weeks. I'm not too sure who they've got after the Warriors. There's a chance Luai comes back after 2 weeks, I believe it is. So I think he'll be a chance after the Warriors game. Not they really not at all.
They need to not rush either of those two. They can lose and finish in 5th, and it won't matter. It won't matter who they'll play if they've got their full side coming back.
The thing is, if you finish in 5th, you play one of the spastics, and then you get a home final again. They're almost better off finishing in 5th because then they'll play Brisbane,
Sharks, Titans.
Sharks or Titans, Brisbane, and then play and then have a home game against probably Parramatta. You'd almost take that.
But they need, especially with Tyrone May, if they're going to play Tyrone May in the halves, they need to tell that bloke either fucking run the thing or pass it. Don't try to do both. He's trying to play like Luai and Cleary where they run into the line, then they set up their outside men. No, just fucking give Burton and Crichton early ball or run it or kick it. He's trying to do too much. He's just completely fucking up their attack.
Or give Kurt Falls a go, which I think they should.
Well, we probably all agree on that, but let's be honest, they're not. If they haven't by now, Cleary will go with Burton and May. It's pretty obvious he's going to. That's what he's done all through. He'll stick with that.
He's trying to overplay his hand way too much, and he's just bringing that attack down. Just get you've got your centers there. You've got Burton and Crichton that are destructive ball runners. Give them early ball, or kick for your corners, or run it yourself. If you're going to run it yourself, just run straight at someone and see what you can do. But you can't do both. You're not Luai, you're not Cleary. You know. The
other question, just on the last 3 months, Barney, if you were CEO of the Sharks and you were offered Kickow next year, what would you offer him?
I wouldn't offer him any more than Rudolph or Nakora.
Well, that's what
I'm probably around 350, 400 at the most.
He feels very exposed now, doesn't he? He hasn't had an impact for a long time now.
Well, he didn't even have a good 2020, really. And it wasn't due to any fault of his own. They just weren't getting the ball out to him as much during games. But then again, if they had been, would we be getting the same results? It's quite possible. We don't know, obviously, but they've been going to him more this year and he's not been great.
And he does get in that motor. He tries to B David Fafita. He tries to be the one-man show for a little bit sometimes as well. Like I said, I now think until they get their players back, we treat Penrith as a Parramatta level team more than as a Melbourne team. And a simple question I'll leave you with is, if either of these two teams turned up on Friday and played this game against Melbourne, what would the score be?
30-0.
Yeah.
Have to be something along those lines.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought, really.